To be candid, Elsie wasn't even on my radar. In the indie space, both roguelikes and Mega Man-inspired games are everywhere. Getting my attention in either genre would be tough. I've got constant access to Mega Man itself, and Dead Cells is still my favorite roguelike to this day. But Elsie managed to do more than surprise me. It held my attention in ways I didn't expect. It's fun, challenging, rewarding, and overall a solid experience. Though a few things keep it from being perfect, I can honestly say it's well worth a look if you're a fan of the genre. So what's the story? Elsie takes clear inspiration from Mega Man, and it doesn't try too hard to hide it. Picture this: on the planet 𝐂𝐓𝐇, resources are plentiful, and there are endless discoveries waiting to be made. But natural disasters are also abundant. To keep the planet safe, Dr. Gray creates 8 robots with unique tasks. One day, these robots go haywire and begin wreaking havoc. As a last resort, Dr. Gray creates one more robot, Elsie, to stop the madness and bring her would-be siblings back under control. While this story isn't exactly new ground, it's a framework that works for the game. I wasn't expecting a deep, narrative-driven experience, but Elsie as a character surprised me. She's spunky, confident, and loyal, and her interactions with Dr. Gray shift over time from stiff commands to something more like a mother-daughter relationship. It's a subtle progression, but it adds warmth to the story. The side characters, meanwhile, fill their roles without much depth. Some run shops, others deliver exposition, but none stand out too much. Let's talk gameplay. Now, I measure roguelikes by 3 main standards. First, how engaging they feel before you get power-ups. Second, how naturally you can feel stronger during a run. And finally, how much I want to replay it afterward. Starting with that first point, Elsie offers surprisingly versatile moves from the get-go. You have a dash that can damage enemies, a parry with a shockwave effect that breaks shields if timed right, a ground pound that doubles as a jump boost, wall jumps, and even an air dash and parry. You can also activate Guardian mode, a beam attack, and your standard blaster, all managed by your energy meter and short cooldowns. If you're used to Mega Man, there's a learning curve here. Elsie's blaster is mid-range rather than full screen, and holding down the shoot button drains energy fast, which you'll want to avoid. Though the energy meter recovers quickly, it's essential to manage it well. Running out of energy cuts off your ability to dash, parry, and shoot effectively. Fortunately, the energy meter rarely feels restrictive, and with tight, responsive controls, Elsie feels fantastic to play even before power-ups. The game is tough though. Expect to die often, but deaths rarely feel cheap. They usually come down to player mistakes. If I have one small complaint, it's that the jump feels a touch floaty, but that's a minor gripe. But does it make you feel powerful? Surprisingly, yes. Power progression is fairly smooth. As you play, you gain experience and level up, earning a choice of power-ups each time. More power-up options unlock as you develop the hub world with scrap you find in each level. Treasure chests and checkpoints scattered throughout also grant upgrades, giving you everything from arcing shots to damage modifiers. Not every upgrade feels impactful at first, but as they stack, you'll feel capable of taking on tougher enemies. What about replayability? For Elsie, the one more time factor is strong. I often find myself itching to jump back in, curious about new power-ups or boss fights. Speaking of boss fights, they're a highlight. Each boss is visually impressive and fun to take on, even if they can be tough. Plus, the powers you can unlock add more variety each time. Some abilities, like damage-absorbing fireflies or explosions on enemy death, are always satisfying to find. But there's one odd design choice. Although you start with all your moves unlocked, the game doesn't explain them all at once. Instead, each death unlocks a new tutorial for one of your moves. I think a core ability like the parry should be introduced up front, not 3 or 4 deaths into the game. It's a strange choice, though not a deal breaker. The visuals are a standout visually. Elsie shines. Its vibrant colors are eye-catching without being distracting. And accessibility options let you outline characters if you need extra visibility. The character designs are solid too, though I wish the portrait art translated a little better to the chibi-style sprites. The levels are randomly generated, but the game maintains a distinct visual style across different biomes, even if some areas feel a bit like recolored factory. The hub world, meanwhile, is gorgeous, and I've often found myself exploring it just to take in the scenery as I unlock new facilities. The planet 𝐂𝐓𝐇 is beautifully colored, making it an inviting world to navigate. Enemies can feel repetitive at times, but overall, the visuals work well. Now about the audio. The music is fantastic. Described by the developers as neo-retro, the soundtrack blends rock and electronic styles, striking a balance between nostalgic and modern. You can hear a richer instrumental mix, which keeps it distinct from Mega Man soundtracks. The music even shifts in subtle ways depending on the situation, like during level-up moments or when you land a successful parry. Sound design, however, is a mixed bag. Elsie's shots are loud and punchy, while enemy attacks are quieter, making them feel a bit underwhelming by comparison. It'd be nice if Elsie's shots were toned down a bit and enemy sounds were boosted. As for voice acting, it's surprisingly solid, especially Elsie Lovelock as the protagonist. She brings a lot of character to Elsie, which helps anchor the story. Some of the side characters could benefit from more writing, but overall, the voice work does a good job. So, is Elsie worth it? In short, yes. Elsie offers Mega Man-style gameplay with a satisfying roguelike twist. Its controls are tight, the gameplay loop is challenging but fair, and it's just a fun time overall. Though the genre may feel oversaturated, every now and then a game like Elsie comes along and stands out. It's not perfect, the tutorial system feels backward and the sound mixing could use a tweak, but its strengths far outweigh its minor issues. If you're looking for a game with tough, rewarding gameplay and vibrant visuals, give Elsie a try.